For over 50 years, one question has quietly stirred deep emotions inside the Catholic Church. What will happen to the traditional Latin Mass? Once the universal form of worship for Roman Catholics, the Latin Mass, also called the Tridentine Mass, was largely set aside after the Second Vatican Council. In its place, a new liturgy was introduced in 1969, known as the Novus Ordo. Since then, Catholics around the world have lived with a growing tension, some deeply connected to the newer form, and others feeling drawn back to the ancient rites of the Church. That tension reached a new level in 2021 when Pope Francis issued a document called Traditionis Custodes, placing strict limits on the celebration of the Latin Mass. It caused confusion, division, and even heartbreak among many faithful Catholics. Now, everything could change again. In 2025, a new pope was elected, Pope Leo. From his very first public Mass, people began to notice something. The way he celebrated the liturgy, his reverence, his choice of Latin, the traditional vestments felt different. It felt like the old was returning, even if just slightly. But still, he has remained silent on one key issue. Will Pope Leo restore the Latin Mass or continue the path of restriction? Today, we'll explore 3 realistic paths Pope Leo might take in the months ahead. What he decides could shape the Church for generations to come. To understand where things might go under Pope Leo, we need to look back at how this all began. For centuries, the traditional Latin Mass was the normal way Catholics around the world worshipped. It had a deep sense of silence, reverence, and mystery. The prayers were said in Latin. The priest faced the altar, not the people. And every word and gesture followed a rhythm shaped over many centuries. But in the 1960s, the Church went through major changes. At the Second Vatican Council, bishops gathered to talk about how the Church should meet the modern world. One result was a desire to reform the Mass. In 1969, a new liturgy, the Novus Ordo, was introduced by Pope Paul VI. It used the local language instead of Latin, and the priest now faced the people. The structure was simplified. Many saw it as a fresh beginning. However, not everyone agreed. Some Catholics felt the new Mass lost something sacred. Over time, groups formed to preserve the old Latin Mass. Some of them remained loyal to the Vatican. Others, like the Society of St. Pius, resisted more openly and created tension with Church leadership. Then in 2007, Pope Benedict XVI did something historic. He released a document called Summorum Pontificum, which gave every priest the freedom to celebrate the traditional Latin Mass. He said the old form had never been abolished and should remain part of the Church's heritage. For a while, there was peace. In many dioceses, both forms of the Mass were celebrated side by side. People could choose, and the number of Latin Mass communities began to grow quietly around the world. But in 2021, that all changed. Pope Francis issued Traditionis Custodes, which reversed Benedict's policy. It said that the Latin Mass should be limited and that bishops needed special permission to allow it in their dioceses. New priests couldn't be trained in it without Rome's approval, and it could no longer be offered in parish churches. Many Catholics were shocked. They had seen young families, new vocations, and deep devotion growing around the Latin Mass. And now it felt like the door was closing. Some bishops followed the new rules quickly. Others quietly allowed it to continue. This is the moment Pope Leo has walked into. He is now standing at a crossroads with 3 very different paths ahead. Since the day Pope Leo stepped onto the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica, many Catholics have been watching closely. Not just for what he says, but for what he does. And what they've noticed has given both hope and curiosity. From his very first Mass, it was clear. This Pope values reverence. He used more Latin than usual. He wore traditional vestments, some even from past centuries. His gestures at the altar were slow, careful, and deeply focused. To many, it felt like the style of Pope Benedict had returned. Some even said, "This feels like the old Church again." But while these small things matter, Pope Leo has not yet made any official move about the traditional Latin Mass itself. Traditionis Custodes, the restriction issued by Pope Francis, is still in effect. Bishops still need special permission from Rome. Some Latin Mass communities remain limited or under pressure. And yet, other signs keep people hopeful. Pope Leo has spoken kindly about Cardinal Burke, a strong supporter of the Latin Mass. He has also emphasized the importance of beauty, silence, and sacredness in the liturgy, ideas often connected to the traditional form. Then there was something else. On May 13, 2025, Pope Leo's papacy was officially consecrated to Our Lady of Fatima on the anniversary of the first Marian apparition in Fatima, Portugal. That's the same date the Latin Mass was offered for generations. To many, this was not just symbolic. It felt like a quiet signal. So now the Church waits. Will Pope Leo speak? Will he act? Or will he leave things as they are? In the next section, we'll look at 3 possible futures, 3 different paths Pope Leo could choose, and what each one could mean for the Church. With the Church watching closely, Pope Leo stands before a big decision. He could take one of 3 main paths, each with different consequences. Let's look at each possibility. In this first scenario, Pope Leo decides to cancel Traditionis Custodes and bring back Summorum Pontificum. That means every priest in the Roman Rite would once again be allowed to celebrate the traditional Latin Mass without needing permission. This move would feel like a full return to what Pope Benedict started back in 287. Under this plan, the Latin Mass would no longer be seen as something extra or suspicious. Instead, it would be recognized as a normal and respected part of Catholic life. Seminaries could begin teaching it again. Parishes might offer it more regularly. Bishops would be encouraged to welcome both forms of the Mass in their dioceses. This would likely bring joy and relief to traditional Catholic communities around the world. It could also help repair the hurt caused by the 2021 restrictions. But there would also be pushback. Some bishops and theologians might argue that restoring the old form too fully could confuse the faithful or reverse the goals of Vatican Roman II. Others might fear that it would encourage division or send the message that the newer Mass is less holy. Still, for many, this option would bring unity through diversity, a way of allowing both forms of the Mass to exist in peace. In this second possibility, Pope Leo chooses a middle way. Instead of fully restoring the Latin Mass or keeping strict limits, he might issue a new decree that gives some freedom back to priests, but still requires cooperation with bishops. For example, priests may say the Latin Mass privately without needing permission. Public Masses could be offered, but only with the bishop's approval. Seminaries might be allowed to teach it again, but as an optional subject. Parishes could request Latin Masses, but decisions would depend on local circumstances. This plan would offer some flexibility, especially in dioceses where bishops are open to the Latin Mass. But in areas with more resistance, the old liturgy might still remain rare or unavailable. This middle path is the one many experts believe is most likely. It would allow Pope Leo to avoid direct conflict with the legacy of Pope Francis, while also responding to the needs of Catholics who love the traditional liturgy. However, this option also has weaknesses. It puts a lot of power in the hands of individual bishops. In some places, Latin Mass communities might thrive. In others, they could still face restrictions. For that reason, many see this as a temporary compromise, not a long-term solution. The third option is the most difficult for traditional Catholics. In this case, Pope Leo would choose to leave Traditionis Custodes in place, keeping the current restrictions as they are. No major changes, no public comments, just silence. This would mean priests still need permission from their bishop to celebrate the Latin Mass. Seminaries may not train new priests in it without special approval. Public Latin Masses remain limited to specific places, often outside regular parishes. If this happens, many faithful will feel disappointed or even abandoned. Some may stop attending Mass altogether. Others might turn to groups like the Society of St. Pius, which are not in full communion with Rome, but continue to celebrate the Latin Mass openly. Keeping the current restrictions would also raise more questions. Why has Pope Leo allowed beautiful liturgies and traditional styles in his own celebrations, yet kept silence on the Latin Mass for others? Why ignore the leaked bishop's report, which suggested widespread support for the traditional liturgy? While this option may seem like the safe route from inside the Vatican, it risks creating more division over time. So these are the three roads ahead. Or a full restoration, a middle way with controls or no change at all. While Pope Leo holds the final authority, there are outside forces that could shape what happens next. These are the wildcards, unexpected events or realities that could tip the balance toward one option or another. Let's look at the biggest ones. In July 2025, journalist Diane Montagna published a leaked document that caused a wave of reaction. The document contained real feedback from bishops around the world about the Latin Mass. And surprisingly, most of it was positive. Bishops reported that Latin Mass communities were strong in faith and devotion, bringing in young families, producing new vocations to the priesthood, supporting their local parishes and dioceses. This report stood in sharp contrast to the reason given for traditionist custods in 2021, which claimed the Latin Mass was causing division and pride. Now, people are asking, why were we told the bishops were against it when they were actually in favor? This revelation puts pressure on Pope Leo. If he acts, it may not be seen as a personal opinion, but as a correction based on new facts. Another factor is the rapid expansion of the Society of St. Pius, a group that celebrates only the traditional Latin Mass and has a complicated relationship with the Vatican. Though not fully recognized, the Society of St. Pius is growing quickly both in members and seminarians. Some estimates say it now has over 700 priests worldwide. If Pope Leo continues restrictions, many Catholics might turn to the Society of St. Pius instead. This could deepen the divide and create more tension between traditional Catholics and church authorities. Even worse, the Society of St. Pius may soon consecrate new bishops, which could repeat the crisis of 1988, when Archbishop Lefebvre did so without permission, causing excommunications and years of conflict. The Vatican may not want to face that kind of confrontation again. This makes the Society of St. Pius a key player in how this all unfolds. More than ever, ordinary Catholics are speaking up. Social media, podcasts, and Catholic YouTube channels have created a space for people to share their love for the Latin Mass and their pain when it's taken away. In recent years, many have written letters, made videos, signed petitions, or traveled long distances just to attend one Latin Mass each week. Some have even changed dioceses or moved across the country. This level of commitment shows that the Latin Mass is not just a preference. For many, it's central to their spiritual life. That kind of passion is not easily silenced. Pope Leo may feel that listening to these voices calmly and clearly is part of his duty as shepherd of the whole Church. Finally, there's the issue of unity. The Church has been through a lot of tension in recent years. Some Catholics support the Novus Ordo. Others love the Latin Mass. Some feel pushed out. Others feel judged. If Pope Leo can find a way to bring peace not by choosing one side, but by recognizing both forms as valuable, he may begin to heal wounds left open for too long. His decisions won't please everyone, but if made carefully and prayerfully, they could lead to a more unified and reverent Church. For some, the traditional Latin Mass is a link to the past, a doorway into the silence, mystery, and beauty that shaped saints for centuries. For others, the newer liturgy is a sign of the Church reaching out to the modern world with fresh clarity and simplicity. But this is not a battle of old versus new. It is a deeper question. How do we worship God with reverence, unity, and truth? Pope Leo now carries the weight of that question. Whatever decision he makes, whether bold or cautious, will shape the future of the Church's worship. And the world is watching. But even as we wait, the work of faith continues. We can still pray with devotion. We can still seek holiness in our homes and parishes. We can still love Christ in every form he comes to us, especially in the Eucharist. The future of the liturgy matters. But even more than that, the Church needs hearts on fire for Christ. So let us watch, let us hope, and above all, let us remain faithful. No matter which path is chosen, God remains with his Church. Always.